Let's go over to the CBN News Desk.
Gordon, it seems undecided voters in Iowa are finally making their choices with only 5 days until Tuesday's presidential caucus. Ron Paul is rising much closer to the top of the Republican field, and a dark horse is now seeing some light. Polls have Rick Santorum ahead of Newt Gingrich. Ephraim Graham has the story.
I'm running for president, so if you get a chance to caucus, remember the name Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney may be the man to beat in Iowa, at least for now. The latest CNN Time magazine poll has Romney leading the Republican field in the Hawkeye state with 25%. Ron Paul is a close second with 22%. Rick Santorum is in third place with 16%. Newt Gingrich topped the field 3 weeks ago, but he's now in fourth place with 14%.
I want you guys now to report to Governor Romney. We've taken his thoughts so seriously that in the tradition of Lucille Ball, we're here in the chocolate factory.
Gingrich poked fun at Mitt Romney for comparing his campaign to Lucille Ball's failed work on a chocolate assembly line. But both he and Romney still face an uphill battle, winning over the conservative right side of the party. Gingrich already trails former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum, who's been spending more time in Iowa than his opponents.
The bigger numbers, and feel very, very good about how things are going.
And then there's Texas Congressman Ron Paul.
Something has to change. Something will change.
Paul's strong organization in Iowa has him in second place. And he got a boost when State Senator Kent Sorensen, an influential Tea Party figure, left Michelle Bachmann's campaign for his. But Michelle Bachmann says Ron Paul would be a dangerous president.
Ron Paul thinks that it would be fine if the Iranians obtained nuclear weapons. It's dangerous to think that Iran would be allowed to obtain them. That's Ron Paul's thinking. I oppose Ron Paul's thinking.
John Huntsman has called Paul unelectable. And in just a few days, the polling will be over. And the voters of Iowa will officially make their voices heard. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
The U.S. Navy is warning Iran it will not tolerate any attempt to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has threatened to cut the world's oil supply if the West imposes more sanctions. Those sanctions are in response to Iran's growing nuclear program. Iran's Navy chief appeared on state television Wednesday and told the country that closing the Strait of Hormuz would be, quote, easier than drinking a glass of water.
If the Iranians actually attempted to shut down the Straits of Hormuz, it would almost be like saying, please attack me. You know, it would be an act of war.
About 40% of the world's oil supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz. If Iran does shut it down, experts predict oil and gas prices would skyrocket here in the U.S. European leaders will face major hurdles trying to solve their debt crisis early next year, just as the Eurozone economy appears to be headed into a recession. European countries are going to try to shore up their weak banks to prevent a financial crisis that could spread to the U.S. and the rest of the world. European governments, the EU Executive Commission, and the European Central Bank are trying to ease the crisis and convince financial markets the troubled government can pay their heavy debts. Some analysts worrying, though, that if the European leadership fails, it could mean social unrest in their countries and a worldwide recession. France is raising taxes on sodas in an attempt to fight obesity. That country's Constitutional Council has approved the new tax. The measure is expected to bring new money to the French government to help improve its financial situation. The tax only affects beverages with added sugar. Soft drink companies like Coca-Cola have criticized the new tax. Eating certain foods could help protect your brain as you age and keep you mentally sharp. A new study from Oregon researchers find diets rich in vitamins and omega-3 fatty acids prevent brain shrinkage later in life. Experts say a combination of the vitamins B, C, D, and E have the greatest impact. Diets high in trans fats do just the opposite. Researchers say they hope the new findings will encourage people to eat more fruits and vegetables. Republican presidential candidate Rick Perry filed an emergency order in federal court to get his name on the Virginia primary ballot. He failed last week to meet Virginia's requirements to get 10,000 signatures from registered voters. Perry says Virginia's requirements to get his name on the ballot violate his freedom of speech. Newt Gingrich also failed to get his name on the Virginia ballot. An atheist group is trying to remove a pair of crosses at California's Camp Pendleton Marine Corps base. Many Marines say they want the crosses to stay in honor of their comrades killed in the line of duty. In 2003, a group of Marines constructed the first 13-foot cross. That cross was destroyed by a fire 4 years ago. A new cross was erected in 2008. A decision is not expected until next year. Base officials have sent a recommendation to Washington, but they will not reveal it to the public. You can always get the latest from CBN News by going to our website at cbnnews.com.